Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Jay-A-Samei Casual Talk. Joining us today, we have ITS ADN joining us, Mr. Foot on the next this year. How are you doing today?
Yay, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. What's up, everybody? It's your boy ADN. It's ADN Umfulu Mbulazi Ndlangamandla Umtungu Mphatho Madoda Neto Hamba Nedlozi, aka Mr. Foot on the next himself.
Ishu, it's very humbling to have you here joining us, telling us more about yourself. We hear your tour has started. Congratulations on that, by the way. And how's that going?
Thank you so much, Jay. The tour, it's officially on. It's going very well. We actually just did the first leg of the tour in Pretoria just yesterday. I don't know when you guys are going to see this, but it was on the 28th of February and it was a jump. We started off at Hygro Cafe. We had an amazing lineup of artists. And yeah, man, I think we're super excited to continue with the tour. Next stop is in Joburg. So yeah, that's what's up.
That is very good news. We are seeing your career grow every step of the way. And one question I always ask myself, and I'm sure your fans ask as well, is where do you come from and what was your upbringing like before you became Mr. Foot and the next this year? Who were you?
Right. Interesting question. I like this one a lot. Yeah, man. I was just a very young, passionate kid who found out about music at the age of say 8. Developed a passion of just listening to music, and eventually grew into someone who creates music. You know, I made my first song, I believe, in the year 2012. Yes, I believe I was about 14 years old at that time. And yeah, I never looked back. I was still in high school at that time, very early years of high school. I continued with school though, because I saw that there was a lot of value in continuing with school. This thing was just a hobby, something that I'm trying to learn by the side, you know? And yeah, I realized that, hey man, this thing isn't just a hobby, there's something more to it. And yeah, it became from a hobby to a passion. I started getting better and better and better. And yeah, I started writing songs, got confident. I was performing in high school. Yeah, after high school, I guess I had to take it further in terms of my education. By the way, I come from a family that believes in education. My mom is a teacher. She is a mathematics teacher, so you can imagine just how passionate she is about education. So, like, even if I did not want to continue with school, in which I obviously did want to continue, it wouldn't have ever been an option, you know. So I always wanted to make my parents proud. Yeah, so I made sure that I carry on in school and even advance further than that.
That sounds amazing. That sounds very encouraging. Just to further on the same conversation, what challenges as an artist did you find in your teens building up into your adulthood?
Right. Interesting question. Yeah, I think as a teen, the stage that I was at, the challenge that I had was basically finding myself. So I'd say brand identity, or artist identity, or self identity. Even I was a teen, and so I was talented, but I just couldn't figure out what my sound was. I just couldn't figure out what my image, my passion, my message, my brand, what it represents, you know. And so tomorrow I'm something else. The next day I'm something else. I think, yeah, that was my biggest challenge.
Now that you brought it up, I need to know how many names did you have before it's ADN
That's
actually
a good
came up?
question. Lucky enough, I only had one name before ADN. It's ADN is my second name, right? Before that, I used to go by the name Adrenaline. Yeah. And then, yeah, maybe let me break it down for those that, you know, may be seeing this gentleman for the very first time. But yeah, adrenaline was my previous name. It basically represents the hormone in our bodies that's responsible for the response of fight or flight. Right. And so for me, it represents waking up every day and making a conscious decision whether I am fighting for my dream or running away or fleeing from my dream. And so, yeah, that moved because obviously thereafter, a lot of people knew me as Adrenaline. They still do, I think. You know, just after that, I went obviously to get the music out there, right? I realized that on the streaming platforms, there's a lot of bands, a lot of artists under the name Adrenaline, you know? And so, yeah, that was messing up with my algorithm. So I decided, okay, we need to rebrand. We need to find something that still represents this thing, you know? Lucky for me, a lot of my listeners and followers were already calling me ADN, you know, so we had to make it unique. And so it's ADN. Yeah, that's what we go by now. So only one to answer your question.
Only one. I was expecting a lot more.
Only one. Sorry to disappoint.
It's okay. It's your story at the end of the day. As you know, Jay-A-Samei focuses on music business or the business side of music. I wanted to know, in your own way, how did you tackle making money out of your craft? That's like the number one thing artists struggle with, making money out of it.
Right, right, right. Um, Interesting question, right? Because the thing is, making money wasn't always a thing out of the music, right? I think it's something that we all struggle with as independent artists, right? It's something that we're all trying to unlock, you know, in this gray line between being an upcoming artist and an established artist that we're in. Yeah, how I started to be more deliberate about monetizing my brand was just being more aware of where I'm trying to go. So having a set destination, having a set route on how you're going to tackle that destination, um, figuring out what you believe in, what your values are as an individual, what your values are as an artist, right? Then figuring out what your mission is. For me, I realized that the picture is a lot broader. And so what I did is first point of reference when I decided I'm going to monetize was starting a company, right? I had an idea. I didn't know exactly where I wanted to take it fully, but I knew that there's a business idea I had. So yeah, I got down, created a business company profile. I understood, you know, what I'm trying to do with this, and then yeah, from then on, I registered the company, which is very important. People need to do the admin in terms of registering. You know, so when you start a company, make sure that CIPC, you are compliant, etc. Everything is in line. So the first thing I did was start a business, start a company.
That was very powerful. Do you mind giving us more insight on what your company
Okay,
is?
yeah. The company we're currently running is called ADN, which stands for the Artist Brand Development Network. Ironically, but yeah, that's exactly what we do at ADN. We develop brands, right? And our strategy is really focused on helping the upcoming artist and the independent act to be able to learn what they need to do to monetize their brand, right? And so part of our services include top of the list is legal consultations. We believe that there is a lot of creatives, you know, that are extremely talented, that are lacking the knowledge, that are lacking the assistance, right, in terms of legal knowledge, legal strategy to really make sure that they are elevating their brands to a point where they can earn from their creative works. And so that's what we do. We consult for artists, we consult for creatives in the entertainment space, right? We do work for management agencies, we do work for independent record labels. You know, yeah. So when an artist, for example, needs to make a song, you know, we make sure that the artist is aware. The artists that we work with, we make sure that they are aware what the procedure is. That before they go into studio, they need to have, you know, a split sheet agreement in place. They need to understand that with the people that they are working with, there is an agreement from the onset as to what this creative product, how it's going to be divided, rationed, etc. Second, on the list, we work on brand strategies, right? So exactly what we're talking about. We think that in order for the artist to be able to monetize, it's very important for them to understand their brand, right? So once you understand your brand, you're able to have what's called a brand identity. And a brand identity is good for an artist because other brands are able to recognize and see themselves in the other brand, right? Which is where the business comes into place, right? So if you're talking about brand endorsement deals, brand collaborations, that's where it starts, knowing what your brand is and what it represents. And so we assist artists to do that, right? We've got a segment of the services we offer, which is a management agreement that we have with the artists, where we are constantly working with them on a weekly basis to make sure that we're setting targets for them, taking them from milestone to milestone to milestone, until we can create this very sustainable brand out of their business. Yeah. Thirdly, we do something very important, which we think and encourage a lot of artists to look into, because I understand that commercial viability in that general sense isn't something that's for every artist, right? For example, there's artists that make live music, session musicians, or people that produce certain sounds, right? Which still have commercial value, but in a different context, right? And so what we assist with is basically helping artists understand the concept of publishing, introducing them to channels where they can publish their music, right? So basically what this entails is having the musical works of the artist being used in productions such as television, productions such as ads, productions such as movies, productions, that are visually represented. And that's a big avenue. If you really look at the stats, right, the artist that's getting the most money from Samro in terms of royalties isn't your commercial regular artists that we know, that we see on TV every day. It's those people that are behind the music of the productions that we watch. So publishing is something that we're very passionate about and encourage a lot of artists to look into. So we aid, we assist, we give knowledge and insight in that division. I hope this answers the question and I didn't take too long with it.
No, you didn't, not at all. I like the passion in what you guys do at ADN. The step by step of what your company does is actually what a lot of artists need, the guidance of them monetizing their talents. That's why we actually have these talks. Please make sure to click and register for its ADN. Learn to invest in your craft and don't forget to follow its ADN on social platforms. Stay on track on the tour. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Mr. ADN, for joining us today.